Hi, it's John Voot, and this lesson is on Riff Raff by AC/DC from Trinity College London, Rock and Pop, Grade 5. So looking at the sheet music in the book, the first thing to mention is the music's written over 3 pages. Okay, so we've got a page turn, which is quite difficult to execute. Okay, so what I suggest is photocopying that first page, having the book open at the second and third page of the piece, and just having the photocopied sheet alongside like this. Okay, just so you can see all 3 pages without the need to have a page turn. It just takes out that worry of the page turn coming up. So if you're thinking, oh no, the page turn's coming, all that energy is just sort of taken away from the notes and from the music. So you want to be nice and relaxed when you're playing. You don't want to be thinking about things like that. Okay, so that's what I suggest, just to take that worry away. So yeah, once you've done that, we'll take a look at the sheet music. So looking at the first page at the top, you've got the song title, and above that it says Technical Focus. Okay, so this is one of the technical focus pieces in grade 5. And there's a couple of technical elements that we need to make sure we put into our playing in this piece. And then beneath that, you can see it says intro in a box there, just letting you know the first part of the song we're going to be playing is an intro. Okay, so it just kind of gives you these cues and information, so you know what you're playing. Okay, not just the notes. You want to know like what part of the song. Okay, what where we are in the song format and so forth. And then beneath that, you've got the performance marking there which says heavy rock. Okay, so classic AC/DC, heavy rock. So you know what mode to bring to this piece. Okay, we need to bring that heavy rock mode. Aggression, energy, showmanship. Okay, so just make sure you know to bring all that to the table. And then beside that, it says a quarter note equals 182. So that's the tempo of the piece. So we've got 182 quarter note beats per minute. So it's a fairly fast tempo. Okay, so again, another bit of valuable information before we go into the song. You know it's heavy rock, you know it's fast. So we got to bring the energy for this song. Okay, just know that. Okay, so you can sort of, that puts you in a mode straight away. Okay, when you know that, you're like, oh, okay, right, I'm set. So if you just go into a song 1, 2, 3, 4 and think like, oh, you're listening, you're taking stuff in. There's so much information to kind of take in. So just by having those performance markings there, they just kind of take away. Well, they kind of give you so much information just in those few little words. Right then, beside that, it says 1.5 bars counting in brackets. Just letting you know, when you play it with a backing track, you've got 1.5 bars of counting before the track starts. Right, so if you look at the first bar of music, underneath the performance marking there, you can see the percussion clef, and then beside that, the time signature is 4/4. Okay, so just common time. The 4 at the top tells us there's 4 beats in the bar. The 4 at the bottom tells us the note value of a beat is a quarter note. So we've got 4 quarter note beats in the bar. Okay, so like I said, common time. And then in the first bar there, what we've got pushes. Okay, so the pushes are on the end of 2, the end of 3, and the end of 4. Okay, those upbeats of 2, 3, and 4. So you can see there we've got a quarter note rest on the 1, an 8th note rest on a downbeat of 2, and we've got an 8th note on the end of 2. Okay, so the 8th note there, crash and bass drum in unison. That is tied to an 8th note on the 3. Okay, so remember, a tie merges notes together. So whatever 2 notes the tie is tying to, those 2 notes merge together. So the 8th note on the end of 2 is merged to the 8th note on the 3. Okay, so we got that. We play that 8th note on the end of 2. We don't play the 8th note on the 3. We just let the note ring for that 8th note on the 3. Then we have a quarter note on the end of 3. So again, crash and bass drum in unison. And then we've got an 8th note on the end of 4. Okay, so that's crash and bass drum in unison again. And that 8th note on the end of 4 is tied to the quarter note on 1 in the next bar, in bar 2. Okay, so we don't play that crash on the end of that crash on the 1 of bar 2. So in the first 2 bars 1 and 2, we play a crash on the end of 2, the end of 3, and the end of 4. Push notes. Okay, so remember, push notes are notes where we kind of take that feel of the downbeat, that accentuated part of the beat, and we play it earlier. Okay, so those crashes are coming in kind of earlier than expected. They're being pushed. Okay, so they're earlier than the downbeat. They sound like downbeats because there's emphasis on them, there's accent on them, but they're coming in earlier. Okay, so we're just pushing that downbeat effect. Okay, so and of 2, and of 3, and of 4. So nice slow tempo. Those 2 bars, first 2 bars, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Okay, so looking beneath the first bar as well, you can see it says suggested setup. It includes 2 crash cymbals. That's what we've got set up here. So left and right, ideally. Okay, if you haven't got 2, just go with 1. But if you've got 2, you can bring in that showmanship. Okay, that very important element of playing rock music. Okay, showmanship, live performance is huge. So if you've got 2 crash cymbals, you can just kind of add more performance to the piece. Okay, so we're going to hit and of 2 left hand, and of 3 right hand, and of 4 left hand. So you go opposite sides of the kit there. Okay, so let's try that again. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Okay, then what we got in the next 2 bars is the same thing we just played. Okay, and in the following 2 bars, same thing again. Following 2 bars, same thing again. And then in bar 9, we've got the same pushes. Okay, and the second bar of the pushes. So we're looking at 2 bars here. The second bar is different. Okay, because we're going into a groove. So what we're going to take a look at now is the first 9 bars when we just got those 3 pushes. Okay, so bars 1 and 2. Then we got it in 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, and then just bar 9. Okay, so we don't play anything in the second bar of these 2 bars. So bar 9 on its own is going to sound the same. So basically we hit the pushes 5 times. Okay, so once for bars 1 and 2, second time for bars 3 and 4, third time in bars 5 and 6, fourth time in bars 7 and 8, and then we play the pushes just in bar 9, so we don't play the second bar, which is obviously, like I said, you just let the note ring. Okay, so there's no real difference. Okay, so if we go through those 9 bars, we're going to go through it at song tempo, so make sure you're happy with where those pushes land at a nice slow tempo. Once you're there, just push it up, okay, to the song tempo. Then we're going to try those first 9 bars at the song tempo. Beneath the first bar, you can see there's an F there, short for forte, which means loud. Okay, so heavy rock, fast tempo, and loud. Just classic AC/DC. Bring the energy, let's try it. First 9 bars. So once you've got the groove down, you want to loop it, and when you loop it, you'll hear the effect of that push on the end of 4. Okay, because obviously that's going to tie round to the downbeat of 1. Okay, so let's try that now. Just loop it a little bit. So at close to song tempo, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you want to get that down, get comfortable, flow with that, feel relaxed, loose, and really enjoy that groove as you play it. And then we'll try that at the song tempo. And what we'll do is we'll try that 4 times through. Okay, so we've got the groove with the pushes. So after you got bars 10 and 11 down, that 2-bar groove, you can see bars 12 and 13 are the same, and then 14 and 15 are the same, and 16 and 17 slightly different. Okay, so we're just changing up. At the end of bar 17, no crash on the end of 4. Just got that bass drum on its own. So if we try 16 and 17, very similar, just that slight difference. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so just kick on its own at the end of bar 17 there. So a slight change up because we're just changing. You see the double bar line at the end of 17 because the groove's going to change a little bit here. So that's setting up that change. So what you've got is the 2-bar groove in 10 and 11, 12 and 13, 14 and 15, and then it's changing on 16 and 17, which is the 4th time of playing the 2-bar groove. Okay, so that gets you to the end of 17, and now what we're going to do is we're going to look at the next 4 bars. So we've got a little 4-bar change up in 18 to 21. So in bar 18, we've got a dotted quarter note crash on the 1, and then we've got an 8th note crash on the end of 2, which is tied to a quarter note crash on 3, and then we've got a quarter note crash on the 4. Okay, so a different cymbal rhythm there. On the bass and snare, we've got a quarter note on the 1 on the bass, snare drum playing that backbeat on 2 for an 8th note, and then we've got 8th note on the bass drum playing the end of 2, quarter note rest on 3, backbeat on the snare drum, quarter note on 4 there. Okay, so bar 18, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, and 4. So you got quite a long wait for that 4. Okay, so because you've been used to hitting that push note on the and of 3 in the previous groove, just make sure you don't come in too early on that 4. And again, if you've got 2 crashes, you can go either side of the kit. So we got, and that goes to the next bar, bar 19. So it ties to the crash on the 1 of bar 19. But see on the bass drum, there's no tie there. So you want to play that kick on the 1 of 19, and then we just play quarter note groove. So backbeat on 2, bass drum on 3, backbeat on 4 there. So bar 19 is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so keep that hi-hat crash, keep that hi-hat trashy. So putting those 2 bars together, so 18 and 19, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so good idea to loop that as well. So don't forget that bass drum at the start of bar 19. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then in bar 20, we're playing the same thing that we played in bar 18, but now you can see we've got a tie coming off that snare on the 4 as well. Okay, so when you come into bar 21, we've got a 8th note crash on the 1, and an 8th note snare drum on the 1 as well, so in unison there, and they've both been tied to that note at the end of bar 20. Okay, so we don't play the crash and snare drum at the start of bar 21, because we're just letting that note ring from the previous bar. We've got a crash for a dotted quarter note at the end of 1. That's playing in unison with that bass drum. Then we've got the snare playing the 2. Then we've got a crash, which we play, because we played that crash on the end of 2 there, that's going to play until the 3. So we've got a dotted quarter note crash on the 3 in unison with the bass drum. And then we've got a snare drum on the 4, crash and bass drum on the end of 4. Okay, so bar 21, we've got, so remember, the first note we plays on the end of 1. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so again, you can switch sides. So let's play the same order we played. So left crash first, then right crash, left crash. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so again, we can go left and right side for the crashes. Okay, so putting those 2 bars together, bars 20 and 21, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I just alternate sides of the kit for the crashes as I go through those 2 bars. Okay, so that's a little 4-bar change there. So we're going to put those 4 bars together now. So bars 18, 19, 20 and 21. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so a lot of crashes, but they're really important because they accentuate the rhythm of this song. Okay, so let's try those 4 bars now at the song tempo, so bars 18 to 21. So now we're going to try bars 10 to 21. Okay, so bar 10 is where our main groove comes in, that 2-bar groove, incorporating the pushes. And then we play that all the way to the end of bar 17. And remember, in bar 17, you got that slight change by not playing the crash. Because what's happening is when you go into bar 18, you have a crash on the 1. So if we played that crash on the end of 4 of bar 17, you'd lose the effect of the downbeat being crashed on at the start of bar 18. Okay, so we don't want that push crash sound at the end of bar 17. We want that crash on the downbeat sound at the start of bar 18. Okay, so that's why we take that crash at the end of bar 17. So make sure you leave that out, then come into bar 18 where we just got that 4-bar change. Okay, so a similar thing going on with lots of crashes, but the rhythm's different, okay, and the feel's different. So let's try getting to the end of there. So for bar 10 to 21, and just making sure we can transition from the main 2-bar groove into the change up of bars 18 to 21. So let's try that at song tempo. And then in the next 2 bars, which are bars 22 and 23, we've got the same 2-bar groove that we played in bars 10 and 11, the main groove where we incorporate the pushes. And we play the same 2-bar groove for bars 24 and 25, but at the end of bar 25, you can see again, we haven't got that crash on the end of 4. Okay, so we've got that slight change up, because in bars 26, 27, 28, and 29, the next 4 bars, we're playing those same 4 bars that we played in bars 18 to 21, that little 4-bar change there. Okay, so we got pretty much the same thing, okay, but we're just not playing the main groove as long. We're only playing the main groove twice, okay, and then we've got the 4-bar change up. So in bars 10 to 21, we had the main groove played 4 times, and then we had the 4-bar change up. And then in the next 8 bars, we got the main groove twice, and then the 4-bar change up. Okay, so looking at bar 30 now, well, we've got another 4-bar change. So in bar 30, we've got a quarter note on the 1 on crash and bass drum, and that is tied to the push at the end of bar 29. Okay, so we don't play that quarter note crash and bass drum at the start of bar 30, and then for the rest of bar 30, we just got the quarter note groove again. So backbeat on 2, kick on 3, backbeat on 4, and then a slight change of groove in bar 31. Hi-hat for a quarter note on 1 and 2, then we've got a dotted quarter note on the 3, crash on the end of 4. Bass and snare drum rhythm, 2 8th notes on the 1, so we've got 1 and on the kick, snare drum, playing that backbeat on 2 for a quarter note, 8th notes on the bass drum again for 3, so we've got 3 and 8th note on the snare drum for 4, playing the backbeat, and we've got a bass drum on the end of 4. So another push at the end of the bar there on the end of 4, so that groove, so bar 31, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so putting those 2 bars together, bars 30 and 31. So remember not to play the downbeat of 1 in bar 30. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then we're playing the same thing in bars 32 and 33. Okay, so we just got those 2 bars again. Okay, so let's try those 4 bars now. So another 4-bar change, bars 30 to 33 at the song tempo. So now we're going to try bars 22 to 33. Okay, so we've got the main groove of the song, that 2-bar groove where we incorporate the pushes. We're playing that groove twice, and remember to leave that crash at the end of the second time on the end of 4. Then we've got the change up that we already played, so we'll call that the 4-bar change up number 1. And then we've got a new 4-bar change up, so we call that 4-bar change up number 2. Okay, so main groove twice, 4-bar change up 1, 4-bar change up number 2. Okay, so let's try that, bars 22 to 33. So that brings us to the end of the first page. So moving on to page 2, starting at bar 34. So in bars 34 and 35, we've got the same 2-bar groove that we played in bars 10 and 11, the main 2-bar groove of the song, incorporating the pushes. We've got the same 2-bar groove again for bars 36 and 37, 38 and 39, and also 40 and 41. So we've got the 2-bar groove played 4 times there to the end of bar 41. And you can see, again, on the last time we're playing the groove, we leave at that crash on the end of 4 there. So the end of bar 41, no crash, okay, but still played the kick because we're going into another change up. Okay, so in bar 42, we've got a quarter note groove starting with a crash. So again, we're leaving out that push at the end of bar 41 because at the start of bar 42, we want the accent, the crash at the start of the bar on the downbeat. Okay, so just a quarter note groove at the start of bar 42. So just 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then we got a change up in bar 43. Quarter note still on 1 and 2. Okay, but we got an 8th note on the 3, and then we got a quarter note on the end of 3, 8th note on the end of 4. Okay, so we've got 2 snare drums at the end of the bar, so like a double, like offbeat, backbeat. Okay, where we're hitting the end of 3 and the end of 4 in unison with the hi-hats. Okay, so the bass drum's playing the 1, snare drum's playing the 2, bass drum's playing the 3 for an 8th note, then we got a quarter note on the end of 3, and then a 8th note on the end of 4 on the snare drum. So double backbeat, which is offbeat. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, and. So putting those 2 bars together, bars 42 and 43, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then pretty much the same thing for the next 2 bars, bars 44 and 45. But what we got, we had a tie at the end of bar 43 on the hi-hat, which is tied to the hi-hat for a quarter note on the 1 of bar 44. So we don't play the hi-hat at the start of bar 44 because it's merged to the hi-hat at the end of the previous bar. But we've got a bass drum on the 1 again. Okay, so we still play that kick on the 1. All we're doing is leaving out the cymbal, leaving out that hi-hat, and then we're continuing with the quarter note groove. So bar 44 is 1, 2, 3, 4. Then in bar 45, we've got the same thing that we played in bar 43. Okay, so that offbeat double backbeat. So bars 44 and 45 together, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we're going to play those 4 bars now, so bars 42 to 45, and then just make sure, like I said, when you come into bar 44, you're not playing that hi-hat on the 1. Okay, you're letting that note ring from the previous bar, but we're still playing that bass drum on the 1 of bar 44. So let's try those 4 bars now. Another 4 bar change there, so let's try those at the song tempo. So now we'll try bars 34 to 45. Okay, so we got the main 2-bar groove of the song played 4 times. And remember, at the end of that 4th time, leave the crash on the end of 4 out at the end of that 4th time of the groove. And then we got change up number 3. Okay, so another 4-bar change. It's the 3rd 4-bar change that we've had. Okay, so let's try putting that together now, bars 34 to 45. And at the end of bar 45, you see we've got a double bar line there. That brings us to the end of the intro. Okay, so we've got a 45 bar intro, so a long intro. So we're going to put it all together now, going from the very first bar. So we come in with the pushes, and then we bring in the main groove at bars 10 and 11, where we still incorporate those pushes. And then we've got change up, so a 4-bar change up in bars 18 to 21. Then we've got a 2nd bar change up in bars 30 to 33, and then a 3rd bar change up in bars 42 to 45. Okay, so the main 2-bar groove is that groove in bars 10 and 11. Okay, so let's try and put that all together now. We're at forte for the whole thing. Keep the showmanship there, so crash on both sides of the kit if you can. Keep the energy there, so really high energy. Okay, we're playing heavy rock, so we need that aggressiveness, we need that attitude as we play it. Okay, we don't just want to be plain faced, we want to bring that attitude in there as we play it. So really bring that into your playing, incorporate that. And also, we need to make sure the pushes are clean. This is fast, okay, so fast tempo, so make sure the pushes are right in the right place, because if you're playing them sloppy, they're just not going to sound nice. Okay, so that's one of the technical elements of this piece, being able to execute fast pushes. Alright, so really make sure you're hitting those pushes at the right points, really tidily in the bar. Alright, so let's try the whole intro now, bar 1 to the end of bar 45. And now we'll try the whole intro in time with a backing track. So we've got a 1.5 bar counting. So you'll hear 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And then we come in with that first note on the and of 2, that first push note. Okay? So just like we said before, high energy, lots of attitude, lots of aggressiveness, tidy pushes. Okay, keep them really clean. The drums are so important in this song. Okay, they provide the energy, but they also really accentuate those pushes. The guitar chords are also hitting those pushes. Okay, so it needs to be clean, right in unison with those guitar chords, and you need to make sure the pushes are tidy, because if you're off, you're not going to carry the vibe of the song. You're not going to land right in time with the guitars. Got to be clean, really clean and tidy, keeping that rock vibe. Okay, so let's try the whole intro now. The whole intro now in time with the backing track. So now we come on to the verse, which starts at bar 46. As you can see verse there written in a box above the bar. And you can also see the sign there, the Senyo sign. So we know we're going to be coming back to this point at some future point in the song. So just take a mental note of that. You need to remember where you saw the sign. Okay, and then in the verse, we've got a 2-bar groove, and it's the same 2 bars we played in the previous 2 bars, so the end of the intro bars, 44 and 45. Okay, so you can see you've got that tie. So the first note of the groove there is tied to the end of the previous bar. So we don't play that hi-hat again, we just play the kick on the 1. So bar 46 is 1, 2, 3, 4. And then bar 47, just playing that double backbeat, off beat. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 2 bars together just to remind you how that goes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we've got the same thing in the next 2 bars, which are bars 48 and 49. Okay, so we've got 4 bars there written there, 46 to 49. And then in the next 12 bars, which is the rest of the verse, we've got slash notation, so freedom to improvise. Okay, so you want to improvise here, and it says cont sim above bar 50, which is short for continua simile. So you want to continue in a similar way, so a similar groove, and you've got the bars in brackets there. So 4 at the end of the fourth line of that page, so which is bar 53. You've got the 8 at the end of bar. You've got the 8 at bar 57, and you've got the 12 at bar 61. Okay, just to help you keep count. So you can just improvise. When you fill the fourth bar of improvising, you can look at the number 4, know exactly where you are. Groove for another 4 bars. When you see number 8, you know exactly where you are. Groove when you feel you've played another 4 bars, you know exactly where you are because you've got the number 12 there. Okay, so we got the same groove we've already gone through for this section, and you can just improvise on it. Okay, for the rest of the verse. All right, so let's try the whole verse now. So I'm just going to keep that continuous groove going, but by all means improvise. But remember, similar. Okay, don't go too off tangent. Don't use this to show off. You want to make sure you play for the music. Okay, so you want to play something fitting for the music. You don't just want to go, oh, I can play whatever I want. Let's play this really cool groove that I learned the other day that's really hard to play and really impressive to listen to. That's not the thinking. You want to be thinking, what can I play to really complement this song? What can I play that's really going to line up with the guitars in this verse? Okay, so don't play for you, play for the music, but you've got a bit of freedom here. So just lose yourself in the music and play what the music makes you feel. Okay, so don't be kind of rigid and locked into something. Just kind of, just go with the flow. Just let the music inspire you to come out of a groove that fits. Okay, so really play about with this section, improvise and find something that you really are happy with, and then play that. Okay, but just have that skill to be able to not always play what's written down for you. Just try and improvise a little bit. Like I said, lose yourself in this groove. But let's try the whole verse now at the song tempo. And now we'll try the verse in time with a backing track. Okay, so we're just keeping a solid foundation. We're just supporting the vocals in this section. Okay, so be really solid with your groove, really tidy. Keep that edginess, that aggressiveness that the track needs. Okay, so make sure you're really portraying that. Okay, so let's try the verse down time with a backing track. Now we come into the chorus, which starts at bar 62. You can see chorus there written in the box. Now for the start of the chorus, we've got the same 4-bar change-up. So 4-bar change-up number 1. Okay, and then in bar 66, the main 2-bar groove comes back in, and we play that twice from bar 66 to 69. Okay, so those 8 bars we've already gone through, and at the end of bar 69 there, because you're finishing the 2-bar groove, no crash on the end of 4 at the end of bar 69 there. Okay, so coming up into bar 70, we return to the 4-bar change-up number 1 that we just played in bar 62 to 65. Okay, we're playing that again for 4 bars there, and in bar 74 to 77, we've got a change-up. So a similar thing to which you played at the end of the first page, okay, which was change-up number 2, but this time there's a fill at the end of the 4 bars. So the first 3 bars are the same. So I'll go through those 3 bars again. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so they are the same 3 bars that you played in bars 30, 31 and 32. And then like I said, we've just got a change up there at the end of this line, which is bar 77. So we've got hi-hats for quarter notes on the 1 and 2, then we've got a quarter note rest on 3, 8th note rest on 4, and we're playing a crash on the end of 4 there. Underneath that, we've got 2 8th notes on the bass drum on the 1, so 1 and then we've got 2 backbeat there for an 8th note, and then we play 2/16 on the upbeat at 2, so that and ah. So and ah, right, left, and then we've got 8th notes on the 3, the and of 3 and the 4 on the snare drum, so you play right, left, right, and then we've got that crash, like I said, on the and of 4, and you're playing that in unison with a bass drum. So bar 77, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're going to hit that push on the and of 4 there, left hand going up to that crash because you played that right hand there. It's nice to play that push with the left. So again, so 77, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let's try those 4 bars now, bars 74 to 77. So that's 4-bar change up number 4 in this piece. Okay, so once you got that down, you can see at the end of bar 77, double bar line, that brings us to the end of the chorus. We're going to put the whole chorus together now. So we got 4-bar change up number 1 for bars 62 to 65. Then we got the 2-bar groove, the main 2-bar groove of the song for bars 66 to 69. So you're playing the 2-bar groove twice. And remember, at the end of the second time, leave out that crash on the end of 4. And then for bars 70 to 73, we got 4-bar change up number 1 again. And then for bars 74 to 77, we got 4-bar change up number 4. Okay, so let's try to put that whole chorus together. And now we'll try the chorus in time with the backing track. Okay, so just as before, make sure you're hitting those pushes really tightly in the right places because they're lining up with the guitar chords again. Okay, so really important you're accentuating the right points, right in unison with the guitars. So keep them neat, keep that vibe up, the heavy rock vibe, the energy, keep it high, keep up the showmanship and everything that you've done in the previous sections. Okay, so now let's try the chorus in time with the backing track. And then we come into the next section of the song, which is the guitar solo, which starts at bar 78. So in rock music, there's a heavy emphasis on the guitar. So this is the guitarist section to shine. Okay, so as the drummer, we just want to support the guitarist, okay, to really carry the energy of their solo. You can see we've got slash notation for bars 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, and 83. So 6 bars of slash notation there. You can see the number 6 there, written above the 6th bar of improv. And above the first bar of slash notation at 78, it says time. So we're improvising, but we're playing time. So we're just keeping time for the guitar soloist. Then in bars 84 and 85, we got the same 2 bars that we played at the end of the 4-bar change up number 1, which is this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we're just returning to that theme that's going to really be lining up with the guitarist as well, just to really break up the solo. And then you return to time for bars 86, 87, 88, and 89. You crash at the start of bar 90 and carry on playing time for 90 and 91. And in 92, we got the same 2 bars that we played in bars 84 and 85, but now we choke the cymbal at the end of that those 2 bars, okay, which means we need to catch it. Don't let it ring through. Okay, so those 2 bars, 92 and 93, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you see how I alternated there on the cymbals, and I choked this crash, but because I'd hit this crash not long before, you could still hear the ringing. So what I do for these 2 bars is I play the last 2 crashes on the same cymbal, so I stay on this side. So I'll play that again for you. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you can still hear this crash a little bit, but it's been hit like a bit of time before, so it's not as kind of, it doesn't ring through as much. So the choke has got more of an effect if you stay on this side. You could even stay there for even longer. So you could play 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you just don't want the crash too close to that choke, otherwise you're not going to get the full effect of that choke. Okay, so we're going to try up to there first of all, so 78 to 93, just keeping time, and then using those 2 bars in the middle of the section, and also just to come to the end of that part of the section there on the choke. Okay, so just keep time, so just grooving, backbeat, keep solid time. Okay, so let's try bars 78 to 93. And then in the next bar, bar 94, we've got a bar rest there, so we rest for the whole bar, all 4 beats of the bar. And in bar 95, we've got a half note rest, we rest for the first 2 beats. We've got an 8th note rest on a downbeat of 3, and then we play 2 pushes there, and a 3 and a 4 on the crashes. So again, you can play left and right there on the crashes. That comes in on the end of 3 of that bar, so 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 2 pushes there, and then in the next 2 bars, what we've got is we've got a bar of solo. Okay, so it says solo over band, and beneath it says not too busy. So you don't want loads of notes piled into that bar. You wanna play a solo, okay, but just don't subdivide the notes too small. Okay, so you solo over the band for a bar, and you carry on soloing into the next bar, which is bar 97, and then you got those same pushes that you played at the end of bar 95. So in bars 94 and 95, you add 1.5 bars of rest and then the pushes. And then in the next 2 bars, 96 and 97, you got 1.5 bars of solo, but the same 2 pushes at the end. And in the next 2 bars, you've got that again, 98 and 99, 1.5 bars of solo, hit the pushes. And then the next 2 bars, same thing again, 100 and 101, 1.5 bars of solo, hit the pushes. Okay, so you really want to get that down, being able to improvise playing pushes there. Okay, so what we're going to try now is 94 to 101, that section with the pushes, and soloing, incorporating the pushes. Okay, really practice this through and being able to solo and come out at the right point on those pushes. And that's the second technical focus element for this piece, okay, being able to solo, incorporating the pushes at the end there of each 2 bar solo. Okay, so let's try that now, bars 94 to 101. And you can see we've got a double bar line at the end of bar 101, so that brings us to the end of this section, which was the guitar solo. So we're going to put the whole section together now. So we've got time, we've got crashes in the middle of the time, crashes at the end of the time with the choke, and then we've got the solo section incorporating the pushes. Okay, so let's try to put the whole section together now. And now we'll try the guitar solo in time with a backing track. Okay, so remember that this is the guitarist section to shine. We're just supporting them, really helping them portray the energy of the solo. We've got crashes in there as well. We need to be really tidy on those crashes. We've got the choke. We need to make sure that's clean as well, because that has a great effect when it sort of comes to we sort of bring the energy down. And then we've got the pushes there and the soloing around the pushes. Okay, so nice section here. Let's try and hook it all up with the backing track. And at the end of the guitar solo, at the end of bar 101 there, you can see it says DS al Coda, which is short for Del Segno al Coda. So that sends us back to the sign, which we saw at the start of the verse, at bar 46. Okay, so we play through the verse again. And again, we can improvise the groove through this verse. Get to the end of the verse, then we got the chorus again. So we play through the chorus just as it's written. And then we play the fill at the end of the chorus, the end of bar 77, and then we got to Coda. So after that chorus played a second time, we go to the Coda, we start at bar 102, and for this section, the Coda, what we've got is we've got the main groove of the song, the 2-bar groove that we played in bars 10 and 11. Okay, so we play that for bars 102 and 103, same thing for the next 2 bars, 104 and 105, same thing for the next 2 bars, 106 and 107. So we just finish with the main groove of the song. Okay, so let's try just the Coda section, bars 102 to the end of the piece. You can see as well in that last bar you've got the whole note there, so just letting the note ring because it's tied to the push at the end of the of bar 107, and you can see we've got the fermata above that last note, so we just pause, we just hold that note to finish the piece. Okay, so let's try the whole Coda now at the song tempo. And now we'll try the Coda in time with the backing track. Okay, so keep those pushes tidy and make sure we've got a nice clean ending to the song. So once you've got each section down individually, you want to practice transitioning from one section to another. Okay, so try the intro into the verse into the chorus into the guitar solo back to the verse. Okay, then finishing with that Coda. So make sure you can transition from parts. Be comfortable with all the parts, okay? You want to make sure you're relaxed as you're playing through all of this. You don't want to be tense and stiff and uncomfortable. Keep practicing until you feel comfortable. Okay, you really need to get to that point because that's where the skills of a musician really come into fruition. That's when other musicians are going to be able to play with you if you're relaxed and kind of enjoying the music, okay? You've really got to portray that as a drummer. You don't want to be sort of playing like this, really concentrating on reading and like concentrating on physically being able to play the groove. You want to be loose and relaxed. So practice to the point where you're really enjoying playing the notes and you sort of feel that enjoyment and can bring that across. Okay, so let's try the whole song now all the way through. Forte, lots of energy all the way through. Really make sure you carry that energy through the whole song and just be tidy with the transitions. Okay. Tidy pushes, remember the 2 technical elements of this song. So you want to fast pushes, executing fast pushes, and then soloing, incorporating pushes as well. So be really comfortable with those push notes through the song. Let's try the whole piece now, linking it all up. And now to finish off, we'll try the whole piece in time with the backing track.